everyone.
I'm Susie.
And I'm Rachel.
And you're listening to the Gilmore Gab.
Okay.
All right.
The Gilmore Gab, episode 10.
Woo.
We just finished talking about Jess last week for those of you who are not in the recording room with us.
Yep.
And now we're going to talk about Logan Huntsberger.
Yep.
My favorite.
Your favorite. You go ahead and start us since he is the fictional love of your life.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if he's that much, but.
No, I never wanted a Logan Huntsberger, but I always, like, by the time I finished the first watch, my very first time watching Gilmore Girls, and then every time after, I've always been like, Logan and Rory should have been endgame.
Yeah.
Every time. And I know that you now agree with me. I have the text messages to prove it.
It's true. I thought hard before I sent the text message, knowing I could not undo that thought.
You can't unsend it. No, so I think the things that immediately appealed me to Logan, because already I was like, ugh, rich boy, right? I don't like the rich playboy vibes, but they do him a little differently.
Yeah.
And like, I'm someone who is very into the Gossip Girl TV series as well, where it's all the rich people, all the Upper East Side rich families, and the way those boys behaved. And so I was not looking forward to the Ivy League rich playboy, but he surprised me. And the very first thing that endeared me to Logan was that he called Rory Ace. And I am someone who's never had a nickname. Granted, people like to shorten my name to Rach, which I despise.
I will never do that.
Thank you. But it also comes from a place of where when I was, growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, Rachels were a dime a dozen. So everyone was called Rach if your name was Rachel.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, don't call me Rach. I won't answer to it. So at least I always knew that I was being spoken to. But like, I've never had... Everyone always says you can't give yourself a nickname. It has to be given to you. And the fact that Logan gives her this nickname, and it's never mocking. Like, it might seem like it is, but because she's trying to be an ace reporter, but it's always like, it always came off as endearing. And it was not the typical babe, honey, boo bear, gross, cringy stuff. It was Ace. And he always called her Ace. Very reminiscent of how even now, like I'm rewatching Castle. And even though they're getting married, spoiler, I guess.
It's been out for over a decade.
They still call each other by their last names, like Castle and Beckett. Like, that's what's established. So even as like Logan and Rory's relationship gets established, unless it's a serious conversation, she's still Ace to him. And I loved that. But I also loved, like, you jump, I jump, Jack. My favorite, that whole concept of like, here, let me take you to this thing. Let me do what Jess was not able to do to an extent, which was push her to do something un-Rory-like. And it was thrilling and it was exciting. And then his little band of friends also like took care of her. Like they painted these rich boys so differently than I would have expected. But it's the Ace, it's the you jump, I jump, Jack. It's the I don't commit. You're okay with that. Okay, but now I'm not okay with it because I value you enough to want to be different for you. Take a note from his book there, Rory. Like, Logan changed his behaviors because he wanted to for Rory. Rory didn't expect him to change. But he valued her enough to want to change for her.
She doesn't even ask him to change. She just says, I can't do this anymore, and I know you don't want anything different, so I am removing myself from the situation because I can't do this anymore.
Honestly, probably the most mature thing Rory ever does the entire series.
It's true.
And I think the other thing that appealed to me about Logan wasn't just Logan himself, but Logan and his crew, like Colin and Finn. And like, you see it in The Year in the Life, which I love but also hate, where they show up for her and do their little like brigade stuff with her in the costumes. I loved that because I am definitely a person who has struggled to have any sort of lasting relationships of any kind. Granted, I've been married almost 12 years, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking like with friendships. Like, I moved a lot and people were fake friends, and it was just so hard to have that like after school special of like really close friends. And I love found family stories. Like, now I have my little found family and I love all of you very much. And I love it. And all of the books I write as an author are very found family. And that's what Logan gives Rory is it's not Paris. It's not the Stars Hollow people. It is new people who just embrace her exactly as she is.
Yeah.
No one's trying to push her to be someone else. No one has tried to change her. They're just like, you're Rory, we're here for you. The fact that the very first time they interact with Rory outside of Yale is at that awful party that grandma throws for her.
Yes.
After the whole drama with like Dean or whatever. And those boys, Logan shows up to save her from all these men trying to court her. And then when the whole Dean drama happens, Logan and his friends, no hesitation to cheer that girl up.
Yeah.
They don't even know this girl. And they're like, let's go, boys. We've got cheering up to do. Like, who wouldn't love that?
It's true.
And so it's not just Logan. It's the atmosphere and environment he created to allow Rory to feel comfortable as herself, to feel secure as herself, and to feel loved as herself. Because Dean didn't love her as herself. Jess didn't love her as herself.
Yeah.
Lorelai and Luke and Stars Hollow all pushed her to be who they always, Little Miss Harvard or Yale. Like even her grandparents were pressuring her to things. Paris, everybody in her life was like, do this, be this. And Logan just let Rory be.
Yeah.
And that's so hard to find. So I do that. Yeah, I love Logan.
Well, and also it comes up in their arguments where he's like, I didn't tell you to do any of these things. You chose to do them on your own.
Yes.
And that is something that I do like about Logan is like, he very much does. He pushes her to try new things, but he never pushes her to be somebody else.
Yes. And that's why like and we'll get into this in the next episode when we compare Jess and Logan, but that was one of my big things of the differences between them. Like I talked about before, how Jess put Rory on this kind of pedestal of like, she's so smart, she can be this, she can do this, and wanted to challenge her and push her there. Whereas Logan just kind of let her be. Like when his father completely trashed her dreams because Rory's insecure, Logan wasn't like, oh, what? Like he was like, my dad doesn't mean anything by it, but he didn't like say the way everybody else was like, oh, just ignore him. Oh, you're better than this. Oh, he's like, you don't want to be in school right now? Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
You want to go steal a yacht because you're in a bad mood? Cool, let's go.
Yeah.
And then Colin and Finn being like, when they went to bail Logan out of jail, and Lorelai shows up, and they're like, "Oh, we would have made sure she got home safe." Like it's just, it's a stupid thing to love, but it's just, I don't know. It's that weird. It's romantic in a way, but not like love romantic. Just that like romanticizing something is. I don't know. Yeah. But also, I just love the ball gown. The excuse to wear a ball gown for no other reason, and the I jump, you jump, I jump, Jack is like my favorite. Anytime someone's like, "Oh, what's your favorite?" I'm like, "Inamia Pratis" or "You Jump, I Jump."
Yeah,
like that. And it was just, I loved it because I was also the first time I feel like you really see Rory dive into journalism, because this whole time she's like, I'm going to be Christiane Amanpour, I'm going to be a journalist, but you never really see. I mean, yeah, she joins the newspaper at Chilton and she does this, but like this was the first time that this girl not like would do anything for the story.
Yeah,
like she went to this secret activity and was willing, no names, no recordings, whatever, no pictures,
blindfolded and driven hours away.
And then as part of the stipulation to be able to be there, she was told she had to participate, and she could have just been like, no, I'm this immature little girl who's still scared of everything. And she didn't. That was the first time she's like, I will do whatever it takes for a story.
I think that's really the only time. Well,
it is mostly the only time that she really ever.
I mean, the ballerina also, but like,
well, that wasn't doing anything for a story. That was doing anything to get praise. And then she backpedaled so hard because she hurt someone's feelings.
Yeah.
Like, girl, if you're going to be a journalist, you're going to hurt someone's feelings, especially if you're going to be a true journalist where you're supposed to be unbiased. But like, I don't know. You don't get experiences like that, especially if you're not a rich kid. But it was just the way Logan made her finally be herself.
Yeah.
Because she would tell people behind closed doors what she believed in or stood up for, but you never see her act on that with anybody.
True.
But like when Logan gets really hurt doing his thing and his dad doesn't show up, she puts aside all of her feelings about Mitchum and calls him out.
Yeah.
Rory would never.
It's true.
And in that moment, she was like, no, your son could die. Get your act together and get down here. I think that's really the big appeal of Logan, other than like those fun experiences and those like, you're still young and let's do wild and crazy but safe. It's the found family. It's the finally letting her have the space to explore herself.
Yeah.
And without the pressure of like Dean trying to get her to be a housewife and her mom trying to get her to do this and her grandparent, she just got to be.
Mm-hmm. Kind of going off on Rory a little bit here. Not going off, but like a point to be made. Do you think that truly in her heart of hearts she really wanted to be a journalist? Or do you think that, I'm just thinking about how, you know, everyone in Stars Hollow expected her to go to Harvard. Everyone in Stars Hollow expected her to go to Yale. You know, like they all had these expectations for her, and she's a people pleaser to the core.
Oh, yes.
Do you think that maybe she didn't actually want all that, but because everyone else, because they had held her to that dream she had as a child?
Yeah.
She didn't even question it. She just went with it.
Well, I think we've talked about this before. The biggest issue is we don't know where that came from. We don't have the origin story of the Harvard.
Yeah.
Other than like Lorelai bought her a Harvard sweatshirt when she was 4. Like we don't know where that idea even began.
Yeah.
So that's really hard to say if like it was pressured into her or if it was something she really wanted. I don't think she ever had the opportunity to really think about what she wanted.
Yeah.
I think Mitchum was a good thing for her because it made her stop and think about, especially because Logan gave her the space to think about what she wanted. I think she wanted to write. I think she wanted to write. I don't know that she knew how she wanted to write, and journalism just made sense. Because we talked about this kind of in the Jess episode too, that at no point did she actually like utilize the things that she was pretentiously reading.
Yeah.
Because it's not like she was reading like Bronte and like those kind of literature classics. She was reading like Nietzsche and political stuff, which was really weird. But you don't see her talk about it the way like Paris does.
Yeah. Who would use it?
Who, you know, she never applied what she was reading to what she was doing. And other than the one political activist type thing she did with Paris, and then it was pouring rain and they couldn't save the Darfurs, whatever they were doing, she never did anything like that. And so it didn't make sense for her to do journalism. So I just think she didn't know what she wanted to do. And somebody maybe put the idea in her head of being a journalist.
Yeah.
And she latched onto that. I think all she really wanted to do was be a writer.
Yeah, because we see her at the end of Year in the Life where she actually is very thrilled with the book that she's written.
Yeah.
Because she runs out of the house and Luke and Jess are out there and she's telling Jess, she's like, I just finished the first 5 chapters. I'm so excited. And she's like genuinely thrilled and he's happy for her.
Mm-hmm. See, and I think this, for me, it comes from a thought process of, I've always wanted to be some sort of writer, like my whole life. And I joined my school newspaper because I thought I wanted to write like that.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it, but I did find that like the journalism aspect, the investigative reporting and stuff wasn't as enjoyable as literally writing books.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that. But to this day, I still kind of look for opportunities to like freelance write for like newspapers or magazines. I don't look too hard because I think part of the motivation is it's a job.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that is where she settled on journalism is because any of you who are independent authors out there, you know, writing make no money.
Yeah.
Unless you manage to go viral on social media or you pick up a publishing contract or you become Brandon Sanderson. There's not a lot of money in being a writer in the early years until you they say that you don't even start getting successful until you've written like your 7th or 8th book.
Yeah.
And so maybe growing up with her mom actively trying to provide for them and going to business school so she can start her own business. And then her grandparents who are wealthy and work for their money. And Luke who works for his money. Maybe she, as a young child, was like, I want to be a writer, but I need to be a writer that is a job. And journalism is a job.
Yeah.
But then Christiane Amanpour wasn't a writing journalist. She was like a reporting journalist.
Yeah.
So that's what was weird to me too, was like, you can tell she wants to write, not stand in front of a camera.
Yeah.
She wants to write. So that's what I think. And I think Mitchum Huntsberger and Logan Huntsberger were good for her in the aspect that it gave her the opportunity to discover that. Because even when she writes that kind of scathing creative review of the rich people for that like online magazine that Logan hooks her up with, and it makes him mad that she's making fun of them, he still is kind of like, you know what though, you wrote a good article.
Yeah.
So like that's my thought on that. which isn't super Logan related, but I tried to connect it back.
Okay, but I'm actually going to connect it back for you now. Because like she writes that review and he calls her out on it, right? Mm-hmm. And he calls her out on it because she is one of them.
Yes.
But she never sees herself as one of them.
Yes.
Because she grew up in Stars Hollow, but she still went to a prep school. She still went to Ivy League. And he's like, and the thing that I do like about Logan is he does hold her accountable.
Yes. Nobody has held her accountable her whole life. Even when Jess shows up and goes, why did you drop out of Yale? He says, that's not you.
Yeah.
Not, holding her accountable for what she's doing. Just telling her what she's not.
Yes. And I think in that moment it was good.
Yes.
But for Logan, it's very much like you're making all these comments as if you're not one of us. You are one of us. Mm-hmm. And I think that he does a very good job of like pointing those things out to her. Like, you're acting like this, but look in the mirror, honey.
Yeah.
100%. You're actually this.
100%.
On further reflection, especially like with the Mitchum stuff, and I almost wish that like he would have pushed her a little more with that, because like Mitchum wasn't wrong when he said she didn't have it. And Mitchum wasn't wrong in trying to redirect her, because I think that I think she would have been happier in another profession.
Yes.
As a writer. Yes. Or, and like having been with Logan, she would have had those opportunities.
Yeah. No, I agree, because I think this is where, like, as much as Logan might not like to admit it, he's a lot like his father. Uh-huh. Because in that moment, Mitchum also gave Rory the space to figure it out and be herself.
Yeah.
Rory's whole life, people have told her what to do, how to get what she wants, what direction to go, and what they expect of her. Mitchum was like, you're here, go for it. And then when he calls her in and says she doesn't have it, she's like, what do you mean? He goes, you should have jumped in. Well, I didn't think I could. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You're an adult. Like, essentially, you're an adult. Speak up.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, I was never mad at Mitchum for that. Even in the early years, I was never mad at him for that, because I was like, yeah, she did just sit there.
Yeah.
He never said, hey, be my secretary. Hey, take notes. He said, come along.
Yeah.
And he's like, you saw what people in that room were doing. Why didn't you? I didn't think I could. That's your problem.
Yeah.
You don't have. He wasn't saying she couldn't be a writer. I think that's where a lot of people and her got confused. Was he wasn't telling her, you can't be a writer, you can't do this job. He was saying, you don't have it, as in you're too scared. You don't have the ability to jump in and stand up for what you believe in or what you want to do. You're too afraid to speak up. And like, I get it to a point, because I spend a lot of my time as a almost 36-year-old adult. And then when I'm in a situation where like there's somebody who's, quote, an authority, like your boss or, other higher up authorities in like organizations you participate in, you're kind of like feeling called into the principal's office. Yeah. It's like, we're all adults. Why can't I just speak up? But no. So, and Logan was the same way. He was just kind of like, I'm gonna let you do your thing, but I am going to hold you accountable when you're being dumb.
Yeah.
Like, and I do think she was happier as a writer.
Yeah.
I don't think she knew what she wanted. And I do think that is because her whole life, everybody just guided her. And for once, Logan stood there and was like, this is all you, girl.
Yeah.
Like, he brought her to the top of that tower and was like, you can jump, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
And like, they were all safe and everything. They have their little harnesses, but it was like, you don't have to, but you're here.
Yeah.
And that it was incredibly important for her.
Yeah.
Which is why also Logan is good for her. The other things about Logan that I just loved about him was like, he brings her to dinner. His family goes wild, and he stands up. He's like, we're leaving. He doesn't try to argue with his family. He doesn't try to like turn it into a fight. He just goes, you will not disrespect this girl, whether she's my girlfriend, my friend. She is my guest. You're not going to disrespect her. We're leaving.
Yeah.
Which
that whole dinner is wild, because she's like, but I'm a Gilmore.
Which is also wild.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she is a Gilmore. Why do they take issue with this Gilmore?
Yeah.
Especially a Gilmore who got into Yale, who you can easily search up and realize she is probably, like, the way Luke thought Rory would be a good influence on Jess, they could have been like, oh, she'll be a good influence on Logan. No, they just decided their money, the Gilmore name wasn't as good as the Huntsberger name.
Well, and also because she wanted a career.
Heaven forbid she doesn't want to sit on her butt and, look at antique faces. I don't know.
Yeah. Plan dinner party.
Yeah. Which, like, no offense to Emily Gilmore, queen of the dinner party planning, but like Emily didn't treat it the way I feel like Mitchum's wife did.
Yeah.
She was very much I have all this money and look, she tried to be a celebrity, whereas Emily Gilmore was like, I have a responsibility with this money.
Which,
and name.
While we're talking about them both.
Yes.
I do love, even though I agree with Mitchum, for the most part about her, I do love when the Gilmores realize what Mitchum did to her, like really what happened, and Emily confronts Mitchum's wife.
Just reads her down.
Oh gosh, yes.
One of the top Gilmore moments.
I think also in that moment, because Richard sees her thriving in that area, because honestly, let's be real, Rory would have done just fine as like
a secretary.
A secretary, or like the typical wife that they want for
or
Logan.
A personal assistant, or she would have, she was very good at those things.
She thrived in the DAR. She did very well in the DAR. And I think Richard sees her and is like, this isn't what I want for her.
Exactly.
Which doesn't necessarily mean it's what isn't good for her.
Yeah. But also, just as a side note, we are not throwing shade on people who are very good at those things, who are good housewives and good secretaries. And look, I personally am also very good at organizing and planning and being a secretary. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But I know, I recognize, and it's a useful skill, but it wasn't what Rory should have been doing.
But also, I think that this is also where the show, given the time that it was made, that was very norm. And now we see kind of in society, I feel like in society today, you kind of have like celebrate who you are and what you want to be. So if you want to be a trad mom, be a trad mom.
Oh, I'm 100% a trad mom.
Like
to a point. I am very much the stay-at-home mom who homeschools, but I also get paid to help kids write novels, and I write my own novels, and I'm learning to write screenplays, and we're doing this podcast. Yeah. Or there's nothing wrong with that.
Or if you want to be a working mom, be a working mom.
Absolutely.
Whatever you want to do, thrive in what works for you. Because there is no cookie cutter solution for everyone. It's going to be whatever's going to be best for you. And I feel like just given the time period in which the show was made, they do not even, that's not even a thing.
I will say I do love the parallel between this and what we discussed in Jess, the trades versus the lifestyle thing. It is very interesting of yes, we shouldn't have been knocking trades.
Yeah.
And now it's it's okay for people to want to thrive in that type of environment. I will say though, I don't think it's an appropriate environment for someone in their early 20s. I think that regardless of if that's where Rory would have ended up as the rich wife, Emily Gilmore-esque vibe, in her early 20s, that's not what she should have been doing.
Yeah.
I think the early 20s, you're still figuring out who you are.
Yeah.
You've just gotten out from being under your parents. You're technically an adult now. And your early 20s is an opportunity to truly discover who you are and then settle on what you want to do. And especially for Rory, who had not had any opportunity to explore herself until Logan, truthfully, because she was like a deer in the headlights up until she met Logan. She didn't know what she was doing with her life. I just think that, if that's what she ended up settling on doing, cool. But she started turning it into her whole life.
Yeah.
Exploring it until she figured out what she wanted to do. Cool. Right? Figured out, I'm really good at this kind of stuff. Because the skills there could have translated into her running her own business.
Yeah.
The way she ran that staff.
Yeah.
She even got Paris in line to a point.
It's true.
So in those skills translate into a variety of different things. So it was a good opportunity for her, but it was turning into, that's going to be her life now.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden she's going to be good enough for Logan. But she was already good enough for Logan, just not his family. But Logan didn't care what his family thought.
Yeah.
And again, with Logan too, we see that progression of maturity where he went from being this rebellious boy to his dad kind of forcing his hand to him actually thriving and enjoying that kind of structure that his dad was trying to put him into.
Yeah.
To where he was in his own business and they did make risky ventures and it did fail. And then he got, but he grew.
Yeah.
And I love that. Of all the characters, we have Jess and Logan growing and maturing.
Yeah.
And Rory's the problem every time. Yeah. So I don't know. I think that Logan would have been really good for Rory. And the fact that she all of a sudden was like, I don't want to get married. Girl, you can get married and still do things.
Yeah.
You don't have to I don't know where she thought getting married meant settling down and now you're stuck. No.
Especially to someone like Logan.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Because I feel like, I don't remember now entirely because it's been a hot minute since I did my rewatch, but wasn't he just like, yeah, you can still do the things. Like, we can go explore the world together and do all of the things.
Because let's be real, Logan wasn't just going to settle down and just be like go to a 9-to-5 job and be satisfied with just, a typical life. Air quotes there, typical life. But like he wasn't done exploring. He wasn't done.
Well, and adventuring. I feel like I remember him telling her, you can go do this and I'll go with you. And, we can go to, like, I don't know, especially because in no universe did Rory's life show couples getting married and settling down.
Yeah. Like, other than Dean.
Well, you know how she felt about that. But it's not like there was the people in her life were settled down before they got married.
Yeah.
And like the only positive marriage example she had initially was Richard and Emily, and then Suki and Jackson, who were already settled before they got married.
Yeah.
But like, Rory's an idiot. I'm sorry.
She is, though.
That's all I can feel. But this whole episode keeps being about Rory and not about Logan.
Well, that's because it's hard to, like...
Yeah.
Like, we saw Jess without Rory. We don't really see Logan much without Rory.
We don't. But I think, look, their meet cute was my favorite.
I love their meet cute.
The way that, like, it was like, Colin's the shorter one. Finn's the tall, loopy one. Where he's, like, trying to put something on the door, and Rory's like,
they're looking for a girl.
Yeah, and Rory's like, that's my door. And Logan goes, well, then put down my number. Like, and he's so... It's not subtle. It's not a joke. It's straight up like, you can tell from step one that he's like, no, I like you.
Yeah.
Like, cool. And then again, like we talked about in the Marty episode, Logan is just a nice guy.
Yeah.
Like, Marty doesn't have the money and Logan's like, I invited you. I'll pay for it. Like, it's fine, my dude. Like, he never had any of these, like, and except for the incident when they weren't being exclusive. And so Rory was kind of going places with other guys. And then Logan got jealous and realized I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like, he was never a bad guy. And that's, like, he always treated Rory really nicely and respectfully. And, he also didn't treat her like he had to take care of her.
Yeah.
He offered and he did what he could. And honestly, nothing broke my heart more than to see in the year in the life that she was the other woman again.
Yeah.
Because Logan, I really felt like, had matured past that and was better than that. But for Logan, Rory was always the one.
Yeah.
And the girl he was with was essentially, his parents picked her and that's who he needed. He needed to settle down.
Yeah.
And then he shows up in Stars Hollow, basically reliving the college days, which brings me to the point where I said I love and hate that. Because with Jess, we see him grow up. We see him move on with his life. Even when he comes back to Stars Hollow in the year in the life, he's like, I'm doing good. You should move on and do better.
Yeah.
And then, like, because Logan has to leave for London or whatever, and he's leaving. He's getting married.
Yeah.
His last little hurrah for Rory is him and Colin and Finn showing up and doing that little reenactment of essentially the Life and Death Brigade with her. And as fun as that is, and as how wonderful it is to have friends that do things like that for you, it showed a lack of growth. Yeah. Because it's been 10 years, right?
Yeah. And they're still doing
that. But I don't know that they're necessarily still doing it. They were still doing it for Rory.
Yeah.
Which just, again, attests to the fact that Rory never grew up.
Yeah.
Rory never grew up. So, like, again, Logan and Jess matured, are great. Rory's the problem.
Yeah.
But I do think if she had married Logan, we wouldn't see her in a year in the life, jobless, pathless, that's not the word, directionless. She would have made progress. And if she did end up pregnant, she'd at least know who the father is. I mean, we all know who the father is. Matt knows who the father is. He's been told. He is openly admitted on social media. He knows who the father of her baby is, which clearly means it's him. But, like,
who else? Truthfully, who else?
That one guy in the Wookiee costume, because it's not Paul.
No one remembers Paul. He's so forgettable. We didn't even think to put him on an episode.
Did they not? I thought we saw him in Year in the Life at one point.
Yeah.
Like once. A visual. Yeah. I don't remember.
Yeah. But okay. Just like we talked about the Jess bedroom scene.
Yes.
I do want to talk about the one pitfall I have with Logan.
Okay.
And it's when she walks into the room with the bridesmaids and they have all slept with him.
Yes.
While she thought they were still together.
And he let her walk into that room
without telling her a thing.
I still stand by Logan was not necessarily, I mean, it was wrong of him to go sleep around.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very much a Ross and Rachel situation. We were on a break. I thought we were broken up. You walked away from me and made it very final.
Yeah.
And Rory, being Rory, like, I think he should have maybe gotten some confirmation about that.
Yeah.
But also, Rory shouldn't have delivered an ultimatum and been a brat and then assumed he'd still want to date her. He didn't call her for how long?
It was like a month.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, they, his sister shouldn't have let her walk into that situation. Right? Honor should have been better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they learned from the Jess situation and this was their next.
A better way to do it. No, I agree. That was not a great moment. I don't think it was as bad as the Jess thing.
I don't think it was either.
But honestly, I feel like it just made Rory look worse. I see the flaws. I do. I still think Logan was a better choice for her in the end.
I mean,
because they were not together.
I agree with it, but
yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, my dude, you let her walk into a room of women you had slept with while she believed you were just on a break.
Yeah, because they didn't communicate.
Yeah.
Which is a fatal flaw for both of them, is the lack of communication. But I think it also matches the maturity level of the characters at the time, too.
It's true.
But no, that was very wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, in his mind, they were broken up. And he even brings that up multiple times. He's like, do you agree that in my mind, I believe we were broken up, that I didn't actively cheat on you because I thought we were done?
Yeah. Which, again, hypocrisy much, Rory?
Yeah.
Because you actively were the other woman for people. You know.
Knowing full well.
I just don't understand. Were they together when she went to the wedding? Because I didn't understand why she was at the wedding.
I think they were. Back together.
But again, Honor also should have been like, as if Honor didn't know her bridesmaids were sleeping with her brother.
Right?
Come on.
All of them. Literally all of them.
Every single one of them. And in the span of time that they were not together. But also Rory shouldn't have been surprised because that's who Logan was before she met. Like, yes, even though Logan was a fairly decent guy, he was still a playboy. He and she knew that because when they first got together, he's like, I don't do exclusive.
Yeah.
So she knew at that time he was dating other people. But girl, if he doesn't call you for a month, how are you not assuming you've broken up?
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't a good look on Logan. Sorry, I'm trying to think of other not good looks on Logan. I know there were a couple.
That's the main one for me. And also when the other time I'm kind of like, Logan is it's when she's been out of Yale for months and she didn't go back and Jess rolls into town and he is just an absolute jerk face to Jess and in general because he has to go to London for his dad and he doesn't want to and and they have a whole argument where he's like, you get to decide what you want to do with your life. I don't. My life is planned out because I'm Mitchum Huntsberger's son and I have to go into business and I have to go and do all these things. Like you act like your life is so hard, but like you literally can do anything you want. I don't get a choice. But he's acting out on everyone else.
Yeah. It took me a minute to remember. I was like, I have no recollection of it. But then I'm remembering the pub and the food and it is weird. What is it about Jess that just immediately sets people off? Like upon first sight, Dean hates Jess. Upon first sight, Logan hates Jess.
But I liked that Jess was a much more mature.
Yes.
And I mean, he still is like they're both on edge the whole time. But then Jess is like, you know what? I'm leaving. I don't want to be here. Instead of like picking a fight, instead of like goading Logan on, because Logan is actively picking a fight with him. Jess is just like, you know what? I'm going to remove myself from this situation. I don't need to be here anymore.
And I think that's another one of those moments of like where we talked about Jess's torch for Rory dimmed every time he saw her.
Yeah.
Because she was never going to be what he had hoped she would be. And I think that was one of those moments where he's like, nope, she's not my girl right now. Because she's with this guy. And she does kind of call her out. Like, what are you doing with him? We made fun of guys like him.
Yeah.
Which I have no recollection of them making fun of guys like him. So it must have been behind the scenes when they were together.
Yeah.
But that's another flaw of Logan was he had a drinking problem.
Yes, he did.
I have zero tolerance for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just from my own experiences in my life. Like, that's just not cool. And that didn't help the situation because he was drunk.
Yeah.
And it is a good sign of Jess's maturity in that moment. And it's also a sign of like, for once we're seeing Logan be really vulnerable in a situation that you wouldn't expect him to be in.
Yeah.
Because he was the playboy. He didn't care, but he cares that much about Rory. And there's something about Jess where, like, I don't know, maybe, off camera vibes, Rory has talked about Jess as like this really good friend of hers that, and so maybe there is that like insecurity of like, Logan knows he's a crap boyfriend sometimes.
Yeah.
That he hasn't been the best. And that he has this responsibility that his dad is forcing him to go. And now he's worried because this guy's come back into her life, supposedly. And so he's feeling insecure in that moment. And he did not handle it well.
Well, she even calls him out on it afterwards. She's like, Jess is finally doing something with his life, and you're treating him like crap. Like, like, what are you doing? Yeah, it was not a good look for Logan. Like, it wasn't a good moment of like, look at how he's being vulnerable. It was like, you're insecure, and it's for the first time in your life, and you're not doing a good job of it. In fact, truthfully, now that I'm thinking about it, I actually dislike that moment more than the bridesmaid. Yeah, no, I agree. That is truly where I'm like, you are being an absolute jerk for no reason. And considering the friends you have, Logan. Yeah. But I also, like, the whole thing always confused me about the whole, my dad's forcing me to do this. How? Does he pay for your apartment, or are you paying for your apartment? Like, in what way can you not say no to this situation? How can your dad show up and go, you're getting on a plane to London tomorrow? Like, what's going to happen if, like, they never address, like, what would happen if Logan didn't do that? It's true. And that's always kind of left me with a, like, either there was a serious consequence that would really negatively impact Logan that was motivating enough, or Logan just didn't have the balls to stand up to his dad. Yeah. Because they never talk about it. They never fully give the what would happen if he doesn't. And that's always kind of bothered me about Logan, because he does push Rory to be her own kind of person. He supports her exploring and figuring herself out. And he did have his reckless moments, and there were never really major consequences for his reckless, rich boy, drunken behavior. Yeah. But now all of a sudden it's like, I have no choice. Like, where is the Logan Huntsberger that jumps off of, out of a plane and almost dies and is ready to fight for whatever he believes in and steals a yacht with some girl he's just started dating? Like, yeah. But when it comes to your dad, suddenly you can't. Well, and obviously the consequences weren't very dire, because while he's in London, he starts his own business. And then he's just, him and his dad aren't talking. Whoop-de-doo. That's the worst thing that happened between Logan and his dad. Yeah. And it's just, that has always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, why can't you, Logan? Yeah. Like, you're capable. You're telling me that, like, your dad holds all of your purse strings? Because that feels like the only logical thing. Is that if you don't do this, now you're destitute. Yeah. And Logan, let's be real, he would not do well poor. But, like, I don't think he would allow himself to let that happen. I think Logan was smart enough to think in the back of his head there was a very good chance his family would cut him off. Yeah. Especially after the incident of him bringing Rory over. There is a very good chance he could have got cut off for dating her. Like, so you're telling me he doesn't have a little, quote, nest egg squirreled away? True. Because when he leaves, he tells Rory, you can stay here. It's paid through the end of the month. Through the end of the year. Or through the end of the year, something like that. Like, there's no way Mitchum paid for that place through the end of that. That Logan has access to money. Yeah, he has to. Even if it's his trust, like, he had to have been old enough to, because usually it's like 25, 26. It depends. It just depends. It just depends. But you're telling me that boy didn't have access to some funding that he could have been just fine. Like, I don't know. So that's always rubbed me the wrong way. Yeah. I do, again, think it was good that Mitchum was like kind of forcing him to adult. I wild take. Here for it. Luke, Jess, Mitchum, Logan. Yeah. I think that's a parallel. Yeah. It's just the rich boy version. Mitchum was the Luke to Jess's Logan, or Logan's Jess. Except, I'm going to make one exception with this. Luke genuinely loved Jess. And not that I'm saying Mitchum didn't love his son. His motivations were vastly different than Luke's motivations for Jess. But the result ended up being the same. Yes. Because despite the cheating in Year in the Life and then the way they came back for Rory, I do feel like Logan had matured up to that point. Yeah. Rory just makes people make bad decisions. Yeah, she does. And Jess was the only one strong enough to resist it. Well, and it's partly because he got away. Yeah. He ran away. Yep. And then when he came back, the pull wasn't as strong anymore to... Because he had time to reflect and realize, But, like, the way I was so excited
when Logan decided to propose, like that episode, I was so excited. And when she said no, I literally, the first time I watched it, open mouth shocked.
Yeah.
Just stared. And then I was like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. Especially because he wasn't asking for like an elopement. He wasn't asking for a date right then. He just wanted to get engaged. And that's where he saw the future going.
Yeah, we could be engaged for a year or two. It's fine.
Yeah.
And it's not like Rory would have an aversion to it because of like, you know, the people that are like, oh, I don't want to put a label on it, or, oh, a ring ties me to you and makes me like, granted, with apparently Rory's promiscuous ways, maybe that was the thought process. Yeah. But realistically, the reason she turned him down was because she thought marriage would stop her from living her life. In what universe has Logan ever stopped her from living her life? Even when he got mad at her about that article she wrote, making fun of the rich people, he was still kind of like, it was a good article. Yeah. Like, you wrote it really well, and I'm glad that this is working out for you, but like, maybe think a little bit before you trash all of us.
And yourself.
But like, it's not like he was like, we're done, we can never be around each other, and how dare you. Like, he was like, I mean, it's stupid that you had to say things like that, but like, cool.
He still proposed to her after that. So
exactly. Like, it just, he showed up for her graduation.
Yeah.
His mom, or her mom, liked him.
Yeah.
At a certain point.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I think part of why maybe Lorelai didn't like him at first was because reminding her of Chris.
Yeah.
And, you know, Chris's like of him was irritating.
Well, I think because Chris saw a lot of himself in Logan, except that Logan was much more driven than Chris ever would be.
Yes. And Chris, what's wild to me is Christopher looking at Logan, liking Logan, telling Rory he likes Logan, seeing himself in Logan and not being like, get away from my daughter.
Right?
Like, bro, you see yourself in this boy and you're okay with him dating your daughter.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you did? You impregnated a 16-year-old girl? Mm-hmm. Granted, they're in their 20s, but
yeah.
We spent so much time talking about Rory, though.
I know.
No, but I mean, it's a valid point that so much of Logan was in connection to Rory.
Like, do we ever have a storyline without Rory that involves Logan? Because we do have with Jess, we do.
Yes.
But that's because they're in Stars Hollow.
Well, and I think it was important. And then they did establish, because they were going to try to do a spinoff.
Yeah.
With Jess.
Yeah.
That didn't work out.
I'm okay that it didn't work out. Like, I love Milo Ventimiglia and would have loved to see it, but I didn't like his dad, and I really didn't like his dad's girlfriend.
Yeah. I hate that she came back.
I do
as
too.
A new person. Anyway, I do. So one thing I did think about is we do hear about like the side thing. And this is another moment that I don't think Logan looked good, is when he does start that business and he's got the guys and the girl.
Yeah.
And he never like prepared Rory. He's just really bad at preparing Rory for situations she's going to walk into.
I just don't think he thinks about it.
Yeah. Well, you'd think by now he'd know Rory well enough to be like, I don't normally think about this, but Rory's going to freak out about this. So I should probably let her know that she's a girl.
Yeah.
You know, Robin or whatever.
No, she had a very guy's name because.
Yeah.
I mean, Robin, I
don't remember.
I know a guy named Robin, but like.
I don't remember what her name was. Yeah. But, and then she was so nice. Like, they were so nice to her. Mm-hmm. And Logan was like, why are you having a fit? But I think Logan, that was a moment too where Logan was having a life without Rory. Uh-huh. And it didn't get painted very well.
Yeah.
And then Rory was like, you have this whole life without me. Wah, wah. Oh, I'm so sorry, Rory. My favorite moment of all time, though, is when Rory calls him a butt-faced miscreant. And he's like, butt-faced miscreant. Like, I love that. I love that. Mm-hmm. Like, he's just like, nobody's ever called me that before. That's a new one. Like, so, yeah, I don't know. Like, the more I think about it, like, I still think I like Logan more than Jess. When it comes to with Rory.
Yeah.
Independently, I don't think I would like him. Whereas with Jess, the later Jess, definitely like him without Rory.
Yeah.
But I don't think my love for Logan could stand on its own if Rory wasn't a part of it.
That's because they did a good job of establishing him with Rory only.
Yeah.
Like, we don't see.
Yeah, because we don't get, like I said, we don't get the explanation of like why he has to do what his dad says. Mm-hmm. We don't really get a lot of the like him before Rory, him after Rory.
Do we even know what his degree was at Yale?
Did he have a degree program?
Well, like, he graduates.
He just went there.
He graduates.
Yeah.
Because right after graduation, he has to go to London.
It's probably in business or something.
I mean, I assume. Yeah. But I don't know that they ever tell us. Because we never see him at class. We never see him studying. He's at Yale. We know he goes to Yale. He graduates from Yale. But we know nothing about his studies. We know nothing about anything to do with Logan aside from Rory.
I'm Googling.
I don't know if they ever tell us. I would assume business because he was going to take over.
Yeah.
But also his father owned newspapers. So journalism.
Well, a lot of these are saying that like Yale has this degree that's like economics, politics, and ethics. Like it's one degree. And so the general, there's no actual confirmed statement. So the prevailing theory is that it was like ethics, politics, and economics.
But that wouldn't make sense for what his dad wanted him to do.
But we never really know what his dad wanted him to do. Like, yes, Huntsberger owned all these newspapers,
which is
but like, did he
want
him to be in the newspaper business as like a newspaper person, or did he want him to be that corporate CEO who owns multiple businesses? So was he doing business or was he doing newspaper?
Because Logan ended up going into tech more than journalism.
He did.
Which is
how Rory gets that like online magazine job.
Yeah. But thinking this thought just popped into my head though. Okay, so like the Huntsbergers have so much more money than the Gilmores, right? And I'm assuming that we're talking blue blood, old money. That I'm sure that's where some of it came from. I don't think it all came from newspapers.
I think the difference between the Gilmores and the Huntsbergers is Gilmores is old money and they're just maintaining their wealth, whereas the Huntsbergers were old money and they're accruing more.
Yes. But it's just funny to me that the Huntsbergers' big company is newspapers in the early 2000s when they were dying. They're still dying. Whereas the Gilmore money was maintained through insurance,
which will never die.
But they're not good enough for the Huntsbergers
because they promote career. You know what? I have to say, I think because Lorelai's quote disgrace was very public.
Yeah.
I don't think it was the Gilmore name that was the issue. It was the Lorelai Gilmore. Because I think there's a moment. I think there is a moment where it was like, and her mother.
Yes.
So I don't think it had anything to do. I think if Lorelai hadn't been a rich person disgrace, and a career woman who raised a career woman, then Rory would have been perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, that's true.
Because at a certain point, Rory was technically removed from the generational wealth.
Yeah.
Because Lorelai was removed herself from the generational wealth. So she stopped. She became a Gilmore only in name.
Yeah.
And that just, them rich people.
But Rory, this is what's funny though, is Rory plays off. She uses the Gilmore name a lot. And whenever she can, even though she says that she doesn't, she does. Every opportunity she has, including with the Huntsbergers.
Yes.
But don't they know I'm a Gilmore?
Yeah. I had a thought because when I was looking at the wiki, they mention how before he has to fly off, Rory throws him that huge party.
Yeah.
And he says to her, if you go with me to the airport, I won't go. I won't go on. I won't get on the plane. And so I have to wonder with that in mind, even though Rory claims the reason she's saying no to his proposal is because she needs to live her life, I wonder if she remembered that moment and was like, if I say yes, I'm stopping you from living your life.
Possible.
Did Rory have a brief moment of not narcissistic behavior?
I mean, I don't know if I'm prepared to go down that rabbit hole.
I know. That's why I was like, I just had this revelation and I don't know if I want to say it. But like, I just realizing that like Logan was willing to sacrifice whatever it was he was going to have to sacrifice if he didn't do what his dad said. He was willing to face the consequence for Rory.
Yeah.
Which, like, call it what you want. It feels a little bit true lovey.
Yeah.
So is it entirely possible that Rory had one rare moment of not being a people pleaser and not being selfish and was like, no, I'm not going to marry you, but then put it on herself so that Logan wouldn't feel like he needed to be like, no, it's fine. I'll do it, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, no, I just don't. I need to do this. I need to be independent.
If that is the case, then I really wish they wouldn't have done what they did in A Year in the Life.
Yeah. Either way, they shouldn't have done what they did in A Year in the Life.
Yeah.
I was so excited when that episode came on and she was with Logan. I was like, yay. And then it was like, oh, it's your fiance. And I'm like, what do you mean you're the other woman again?
Yeah.
Why couldn't we just have a happy ending.
Seriously.
And then the stupid cliffhanger where we all know she's pregnant with Logan's baby, but we're never going to get any closure on that.
It's true.
All because, no offense to Amy, but all because she ended Year in the Life the way she had wanted the series to end.
I saw a TikTok, I believe it was a TikTok, where they were like, I wish how it should have ended was Lorelai in Dragonflight and a girl with a baby comes in and asks if she can stay there. Because that truly would have been full circle. And also, like, I mean, have a scene where you get Amy's ending that she wants, but like give us that full circle moment where we see Lorelai be the Mia for someone else and like let that cycle continue in that way.
Yes, it felt so pandering-ish, and it kind of felt like we were being like talked down to.
Yeah.
And patronized, that's what it was. When she was like, oh, we're just going to have Rory end up like her mom, which was frustrating because Rory's entire life was nothing like her mother's.
Agreed.
So how would she have ended up like that?
Yeah.
And I think where they went off the rails was when she cheated, or where she was the other woman with Dean.
Yeah.
Like they just decided we don't care that much about Rory. Let's ruin her. And
Lorelai brings this up multiple times. Even though she slept with Christopher while Christopher was still technically with what's-her-face, like
there's a lot of technicalities in this show.
But like Christopher and what's-her-face had a conversation, and like they both knew that things were over, right? Before and she knew Chris was going to see Lorelai. And let's be real, she knew.
Yeah. I think that's where I've landed though with Logan. First of all, we've established that Rory is the problem in all of the relationships, which fair. I do think that Logan with Rory is how it should have been.
Yeah. I
do think Jess is better without.
I agree.
So yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
That's Logan.
I don't feel like I did Logan as much justice as I thought I was going to do.
What is your favorite moment with Logan?
Oh gosh. I mean, the I jump, you jump. It was honestly, that was what cemented my love for Logan. So that would be it. I think is those initial moments with him. There's so many, but that one, like the you jump, I jump, was like that turning point in Rory's life and in their relationship. What about you?
The scene that is popping up, because I have a lot of them for this one too. But the scene I'm going to go with is, and it's not going to be like a super romantic scene, because apparently I'm not into those today, but scene where he shows up with the letter from her mom and he's groveling. I love that, especially because like he gives her the letter and she opens it and he doesn't know what it says because Lorelai wrote it away from him and sealed it and then gave it to him. And so he's just sitting there, not sure if Rory's going to forgive him or not. But like, I just love that moment where he had so much like hope and trust in them that he went to her mom, who he knew would be the only person she would listen to, and got the letter and then took it to her and then just waited.
Honestly, I forgot that moment. And so I have this chronic issue I've discovered where I can rewatch something a bajillion times. I will vividly remember the beginning of something, and I will not remember details of the end of it. And you would think I would vividly remember the ending because it's more recent in my memory. So like first half of Gilmore Girls, cemented in my brain. Last half, we're lucky if I remember it. I don't know why. So that's what's happening here. But you mentioned it, and my brain goes, oh yes, no, I remember that. I do love that moment because he's sitting there and she's torturing him. Like, hold on. Oh, like I love the way. And you know that letter from Lorelai is something like, okay, so just pretend like you're being really serious right now. And then now laugh a little. And then it's something like, but seriously, kid, you know how you feel.
Yeah.
And I actually like this guy and he seems genuine. Like there's only like 2 sentences in there because that's all Lorelai needs.
Yeah.
But I just love that is very funny. I also kind of love where he is not afraid of Paris.
He is not.
Everybody else in Rory's life is scared of Paris. Not Logan. So when he's going there after the whole bridesmaid thing, and Paris is like, you get out. And he's like, get out of my way. Like, you don't scare me.
Yeah. And I also love that, like, when he sees her living at Paris's house, he's like, just come stay at my place. It's so much better and safer and like, and everything. And
yeah, and she's like, but I need to prove that I can be independent and da, 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 da. And he's like, no, I get that. And that's fine. But also, Paris and Doyle are wrestling randomly on the floor of your living room.
Right? He's like, my building has a doorman. Like, no one's getting in.
But also, Paris trying to charge Logan for every little thing he does in there. You used 5 minutes of our electricity. Pay up, bub. You can afford it.
Yeah.
Girl. But also, Paris comes from money. But that's for a whole other conversation.
Paris is our own episode.
Yes. I hate being an adult and having realizations about things. That Logan was only good when he was with Rory, because we don't see him beyond that.
I didn't realize that we don't see him beyond that until this moment. That we don't even know what his major was.
Yeah. Or what the consequences were.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the problem there too, I think, for Logan, is that he does become, like, everything about him revolves around Rory.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like Rory is a planet with a gravitational pull, and Dean got pulled back in but managed to boomerang out.
Mm-hmm.
Just left that orbit real fast and did not come back. Like, he would get close enough to just observe and then he'd go away.
Yeah.
And Logan got sucked in and could not get away from it.
And they imploding and causing a black hole that sucked up the entire universe and everybody died.
Yeah. And it is sad that because of Rory, Logan could mature in every aspect. But when it came to Rory, as evidenced in Year in the Life, when him and his friends show up in their costumes, and as much as I love that moment, realizing now, like, they're in their 30s. Yeah. Like mid 30s. And they're doing this for her. Yeah. I doubt they're doing life and death brigade stuff on the regular. But when Rory's involved, yes, we will be children again.
I mean, they even talked about the stuff that they were doing those days. And none of it was life and death brigade stuff.
Yeah. Poor Logan. He deserved better.
He did. We can both agree on that. He deserved better.
And Rory deserves nothing. Jess deserved better, got better.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, I guess that's all I got on
That's
Logan.
the Logan episode.
That is the Logan episode. It's eye-opening.
It is.
I guess we will see you next time.
Yeah. Have a great day.
That's such a weird. It's so like it's not that normal upbeat. It's a weird ending. I don't know. It's just like, I think that's a heavy realization.
Yeah.
And I apologize to all my other Team Logan fans. Like, again, I am still Team Logan for Rory.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna pick, like, who of the boyfriends is a better character, I can lean a little Team Jess. But for Rory, it's still Logan.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye. The Gilmore Gab is created and produced by Rachel Flewellen and Susie Carmichael. Music by Kevin MacLeod. Follow us on Instagram at Gilmore Gab Podcast and sign up for our newsletter on Substack. You can also subscribe to our paid Substack for early access to new episodes and exclusive content. The Gilmore Girls show and characters are the exclusive property of Warner Brothers Entertainment. Warner Brothers Entertainment is not affiliated with, nor does it endorse, the Gilmore Gab Podcast.